how are you? My name's Louise Courtney. I'm a manager for Deloitte, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what I've done in my career, a bit about Deloitte, and what you could expect working there. And so I suppose if we... Very slow, snazzy transition. So Deloitte is the largest professional services firm globally. So what that means is there's basically a Deloitte in every country, and we have three major areas. So there's audit, and then there's tax, and then there's consulting, which myself, Cara, and my colleagues outside here are going to meet all participate in. Consulting is divided into lots of different practice areas. So there's something really that suits everybody. I'm personally in technology, Cara's in finance. We've got a couple of other guys on the strategy side. So lots of different challenges. And we have over 1,200 people in Dublin, Cork, and Limerick alone. So, I think that's pretty much it. We've a lot of innovative ways to serve clients. So we do the best managed companies. We're the Fast 50. We win a lot of the graduate recruitment awards, everything like that. So I just wanted to talk to you a bit about what I do and my journey to getting here, because it's probably a bit unusual. So I just want to talk you through some of the things I've learned in my career. So I finished school in 1999 and hadn't a clue what I wanted to do. So I was a little bit like Jane in that regard. I joined UCD computer science mostly for the really good reasons that my friends were going there and I could get the bus. And after about 3 months, I realised that was a horrible way to decide how to do anything. So I dropped out and got a job. Didn't tell my parents for about 6 months, but anyway, they thought I was going to college every day. So what I did was I started working in town, and I looked around for a course that I thought would actually suit me and what I wanted from my future. And I found one in Trinity. So I ended up doing the business and IT degree at night for 4 years. So it's a mature student course. They're very kind. I pleaded my case and they let me in. And I started working in a small technology startup in Fitzwilliam Square. So I was working there from when I was about 18, and you know, it was a very basic starting job. I was paid about £12,000 a year. I'm sure none of you remember pounds, but it was a very small amount of money. But, you know, when you go into something small like that, you get the opportunity to try lots of different things. And within a few months, they had me looking after the accounts, managing the invoices and the suppliers. And I was able to leverage that and go into banking from there. So I started off in investment banking and doing my degree at night. And by the time I'd finished Trinity in 2004, I'd worked for Merrill Lynch and I'd worked for State Street. So I was given an opportunity then with Merrill Lynch to go off to Singapore. And I worked there for a couple of years. It was an amazing experience, and it's one of the things I'd recommend, that if you can do, you should travel, go abroad, see what it's like learning things in different countries and seeing how other people work. You know, you learn so much about different cultures, and also just in general, different management practices, and the experience of living somewhere different is really important. So after a couple of years in Singapore, I got another opportunity to go back to London, so I went there. It was around 2005, 2007, so a lot of people were starting to come back. Basically half my year in school, I think, are there at the moment, and that's where I made my transition from investment banking into consulting. So investment banking and consulting, they're actually really, really different. Investment banking, you know, you go in, you have the same job that you do every day. You know, you go in at 9, you leave at 6 or 7, and that's it. There isn't really a huge amount of opportunity to stretch yourself or to develop. When I went into consulting, I knew I'd found where I was supposed to be, because you go in, it is, not to use the cliche, but it is genuinely a different thing every day, a different challenge, and they push you, which I really like. So, you know, you're constantly learning, you're constantly facing new challenges, and no 2 days are the same. So in terms of, I can't really talk about a typical day because there isn't a typical day, but I thought I'd talk to you about maybe what I did over the last week. So we started off with internal workshops in the company. What we're looking at the moment is things like how projects go wrong, how we can fix them. And we go into groups, much like we're going to go to after this, and, you know, look at a specific challenge and then work out how to fix it. So that was really interesting. Then you go back to the client site. I'm consulting in one of the major retail banks at the moment, and I'm delivering a number of different projects on behalf of them. So going in, checking on my teams, making sure that we're up to date, doing reports into senior management. Then the following day, it could be more development, or you could be working on a proposal, looking for new business. We're doing a lot of work on new technology at the moment, so things like the postcodes that are coming in. there's actually a huge amount of opportunities there, and the way that the country is going to look after that's finished and the amount of information we'll have about people is really interesting. But the main thing that I'm working on at the moment that's quite close to my heart that I wanted to talk to you about was sentiment analysis. So I'm sure a lot of you use social media, so you're on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and everything else. What we're looking at is a way of mining that information and seeing how people feel about a particular company or a particular event. So what we would do with that, we build a data dictionary, so all the sort of positive language, neutral, negative language, and then we apply it to a particular industry. So say, for example, if we look at banking, we'll put in all the major retail banks, we'll hive all the main social media commentary, online media and online commentary boards. And that will enable us to see how people react to a different company over time. So, if there's an event, how do people react to that? So if, on the negative side, if somebody publicises bankers' pay and everybody gets upset, it allows us to see that or see the success of marketing campaigns. And it's a really interesting new way of dealing with marketing and really targeting customers. And that's really kind of the focus in terms of where I work on the technology side. So if you see here, the technology division is, a good split of business skills and technical skills. Just because you're in technology doesn't mean you're a developer. It can mean anything. So like you can work on strategy, process design, communication, problem solving for customers. And these are our four main areas. So we have Deloitte Digital, which is really focusing on the tablet space, how people now interact with the internet and how different it is. Strategy and transformation would be the bigger, large-scale transformation projects. And then development and delivery is more along where you'd actually have your normal Java development and people designing new systems and processes. Analytics then, where I'm focusing, is very much on the big data side of things. So we're looking at master data management and then driving analytics in order to, come up with really interesting ways of understanding customers, the market, students, everything else. A lot of analytics work has gone into even looking at the new sort of banks. So, for example, the new DCU bank branch, which is completely interactive and no more desks and everything like that. That was all done based on information that was mined from analytics. So that's a bit about myself and a bit about Deloitte, and I'm looking forward to talking to you all afterwards. Thank you.